Did a day trip to the world famous Byron Bay. It looked better than that weather, don't you worry. Went with a Swedish girl called Evelina, who I lived with, and look at this stunning sunset, amazing. And everyone's heard of Byron Bay. It's tiny, you know. You've probably seen it from In-Betweeners, or it's like a famous place. It is tiny. It's like 2 crossroads and that's it. And then you've got bars and everyone's surfing. Everyone goes up to the lighthouse for this just absolutely glorious sunset. Like, oh my god, just overlooking the water. Really, really cool place. I couldn't live there because I've become an alcoholic. There's not much to do, surf or drink. And as I say, pints are like 8 or 9 quid. They're not cheap. They don't have a Weatherspoons, unfortunately. And they hardly do pints. They do them in schooners, which is like halfway between a half pint and a pint. A little schooner, yeah. So I was in Gold Coast for 3 months and then decided I want to spend my birthday going up the coast. So I wanted my birthday in Airlie Beach, like Whitsundays. So I don't know if some of you have heard of Whitsundays, but it's absolutely bloody stunning. So this is where I spent my 26th birthday. I was on a yacht overnight with Danny and a load of other people. And just look at this beach. Is this not like one of the best beaches you've ever seen? We've got the Love Heart that you can get a flight over. And look, that is absolutely bloody glorious. And I'll show you, like, look at this. So, and then with my birthday money, so I spent my birthday on a yacht. We saw turtles. Let me try and get a photo again, if it'll focus. Look at this. A little cheeky turtle in the water. We saw, look how close it is to the boat. That's insane. We saw stingrays. And I'll get my big camera up. See if this video plays. Like, look at that. That is absolutely bloody glorious. And then we saw shark. That video won't play. But anyway, we saw sharks as well. Absolutely amazing. And then, as I say, with my birthday money, I actually got a flight over the Great Barrier Reef. So look at that. Focus. Like, absolutely bloody stunning. Like, glorious. Like, just heaven. Heaven, 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 heaven. There was 2 of me then. Just amazing. Like, I tried to get a job. I tried to get a job in Airlie Beach, but it's so far north. So at the point, anyone who's not British, if they wanted to stay more than 1 year in Australia, you had to do 88 days up north. So everyone was in the cafes, in the restaurants, in the bars, trying to get 88 days if you weren't British, so Spaniards, French, whatever. And so just anywhere, instead of 10 people trying to get this job, there's now 100 people because everyone wants to stay in Australia. So it was a bit harder to sort of stay there. But I was in Airlie Beach, living a good life. And say, look at these amazing views. And we actually did a road trip from, I've got all of these tabs mixed up now, from Brisbane. Didn't think much of Brisbane. So I went to the Gold Coast and then to Brisbane, which is about half an hour away. And then me and Danny got a hire car and drove up the coast to Airlie Beach. So it was about 9 or 10 hour drive. And then, so this is my favourite place that I saw along the way. It's called Unforgettable, and it's the sky lookout. Again, absolutely amazing. I'll show you a photo of me there. Absolutely amazing. I got this cool top that I'll show you. It's not good. Get the drift. It was amazing. Great views. We just stopped off and we found this amazing viewpoint. I thought, oh my god, that's a bit of me. Don't mind if I didgeridoo. Bit of a hike to get there, but it was beautiful. And that was called Unforgettable National Park. And then, as I say, yeah, I was living in Airlie Beach. Tried to get a job there. Really hard. Really couldn't. So, and then I went up to Townsville for a few weeks, and this again is really cool. There's not much there. It's a pretty small place, but there is this nice hike up this rock thing, if you can see it there, up this. Why of the rock from Lion King? But there we go. This bit. So you could take a hike up here, and obviously you're overlooking it all. Beautiful. Had a job there just for a few shifts, worked in a kitchen, and then I worked at the rugby game. So rugby was quite big up here. In Melbourne it's AFL, which is like a stupid mix between football and rugby. They've not found their own sport, they've just made this terrible thing up. But anyway, up here was rugby, so I worked at the rugby stadium, which was quite impressive. As I say, Townsville was cool. It's always good weather, but you can't go in the ocean because there's great whites, there's crocodiles. You're so far up, there's crocodiles, so you can't go swimming that's not in a net. I did accidentally take up running, so I was going in the gym, as I say, I was doing surfing, but when you're so far up north you can't surf, so I started doing 5k runs and got quite decent. I was doing it like at 9 p.m. at night because it's 32 degrees all the time in Townsville, so it had to be basically a late night run. But I was doing a lot of running once or twice a day around here, and look at these views, got waterfalls and everything. Here we go, there's a better view of the rock that I'm talking about. It's about an hour hike up there, but the views are definitely worth it. And then I ended my Australia year in Cairns, which is where my brother was working at the time. So again, I saw him for a few weeks in Melbourne, then I saw him for one night in Byron Bay, in Gold Coast. Then I saw him for one night in Airlie Beach, and then I saw him for a few here in Cairns, which is right north. The only thing further north is Port Douglas, but again you can see beautiful beaches. Started running up here, and again met so many cool people in hostels. Look at this, that is paradise. You think that is like Barbados or something, but absolutely gorgeous views. Met so many cool people, but I think by this point I'd done 11 and a half months in Australia. I was like, I'm sort of done, you know. It's been amazing. It's been stressful. Let me go back to big camera. I'm used to travelling 2 days here, 3 days here, 4 days here, maybe 2 weeks in a country. Not having to worry about working, but here you're worrying about working. Am I getting enough hours? Where am I going to live? Because you don't want to live in a hostel for the whole year, do you? So you try to find a spare room on spareroom.com or Facebook Marketplace. Half of them are scams, half of them everyone's in the same boat. You've got 50 people want this one room and they can all move in tomorrow. It's sort of, you need to sell yourself when you get there of, oh my God, why should you get this room basically? So it gets to a point where you're just stressing about money. As I say, it's so expensive there. If you're on 40 hours a week, fine. But if 1 week you're on 20, well, you still got your phone bills coming out. You still got your laundry. You still got your food bill and all of this. And then obviously on your days off, you want to do something. You might sign up to the gym, grab a coffee, whatever. And all of this does add up. You know, it sounds like if you go out there with a few grand in your bank, you're fine. But I'd gone there after a year and a half of travelling. Like, my funds wasn't right up here. It was like right down here. So it's one of those. I think a year in Australia was enough. I can see why people move there, and I would debate it if it wasn't a 29-hour flight away. Like, as I say, I didn't see my mates or my family apart from my brother for a whole year. Like, things happen where you're like, oh, I wish I was sort of home, you know. So if it was in Greece, it was in Europe, I could say, yeah, I'd move to Australia. Like, the work-life balance shits all over the UK. The pay's way better. On your days off, you're doing productive things. You're surfing. Like, come on, you're bloody surfing. Like, me and my brother went surfing in Gold Coast. Have I ever been surfing in England? No, because it's too cold for one, and B, I don't live near a beach. But you're doing all these amazing things, and it is paradise. You can see these photos. It is absolute paradise, but it just gets to the point like my social battery was in the bin. Like, I'm drained of just meeting new people all the time, and just, you know, you make your friends, and then you move on or they move on. Then you're back to square one trying to meet new people and that again. So it's a cool place. I think I will definitely go back and visit. Probably do a week in Australia and a week in New Zealand, and just because at my current job I can only get 2 weeks off at a time, so I need to think wisely where I want to go. I was speaking to my mate who I did North America trip with, and he's going, oh, let's do Canada road trip. And I've got family in Canada. That was like what started off my travel trip before America, but I've never travelled around it. Like, I'd love to go to Banff. Let me just grab up. I've finished about Australia. I'd love to go to Banff, which is in Canada, and oh my God, go back to Mini-Me. Oh my God, like, this is again paradise that I'd love to see. I've got traveller mind. You get into the travel way of life and you're like, I just want to keep going and going and going. But this, Banff, Lake Louise and Lake Maureen, top of the bucket list, along with Peru. I'd love to do Machu Picchu and everything in Peru. So we've got Canada and Peru are like joint top. So as I say, my manager and my mate who I did North America with said, come on, Tom, let's go to Canada next year. Okay, let's go to Morocco. Okay, don't mind if I didgeridoo. And there's just like a load of places, so I need to weigh up my options of where I want to go. But Banff is definitely top. Like, look at this, along with Peru. I'll show you Peru as well, but absolutely amazing. I'd love to do. This is Machu Picchu. I mean, most time it is really foggy. My mate, the one who I did North America with, he's been there, so he knows exactly what it's like. But you've got Rainbow Mountain. Let me just bring that up. Rainbow Mountain, which is again something I've definitely never seen in my life. And there is this, city, I definitely want. I'm hoping it's on here. Here we go. Cusco. Is it this one? There's a city in the middle of the desert. Like, you just overlook these sand dunes and then it's just right in the middle. And I think if internet was wanting to work, come on, don't crash on me. I say I'm on a vintage computer, so it's not this one. So I just never know if it's actually going to work. City in the desert. What's it going to be called? I definitely don't know what it's called off the top of my head. Here we go. This one beginning with H. Can't even pronounce that. But look how sick that looks. You know, you just got your desert, and then there we go. Oh my god, look, this one's got swimming pools and all of this, and it looks like a vibe. So I'd love to go there. So there's definitely a lot to see in Peru. Leave a comment down below if you've ever been to Peru. Obviously, my Spanish is not very good. You know, yo comprendo, si comprende. My Spanish doesn't exist. Donde está el coche? Like, pointless shit. Where is the car? Oh, that's really helpful. Not. I did Duolingo for 220 days. Do I know anything? No, I know Sweet FA. I know really pointless shit. So I'd definitely like to go to Peru and Canada and just keep on travelling. But, you know, you need to get in the real world. So I'll just do 2-week travels here and there when I can get the time off work. As I say, I'm going to Poland next month with 2 people who I used to live with in Melbourne and my mate who I go to less games with here. So I've got some travels, and I'm going to Thailand for Christmas and New Year, so I can talk about Thailand again potentially if I do start up this channel. Talk about Thailand, because doing Christmas, New Year's there, it's an absolute adventure. But anyway, that's probably enough of me whittling on. Hopefully you got a lot of information about this. As I said, leave in the comments down below if you've got any questions about Australia, of working or just travelling. What was my favourite place? Anything like this. I know I've just gone through so many tabs, probably missed information out and everything. But Australia, I've got like a rank of my favourite countries in what order. And I think at the moment it's sitting 4th or 5th. Between that and North America, it always just swaps. So it just keeps moving around. So at the moment it's Thailand, Vietnam, New Zealand, Australia, America. So I've got all 20 down, but those are the top 5. So anyway, thank you guys for watching.